G'day everyone and welcome to a very busy Doha airport. We're just outside the first class, business class check-in. Tonight I'm flying on their A380 in first class for 10 hours, nearly 11 hours to Perth. Let's go. Flying first class with Qatar out of Doha is an incredible experience, all kicked off at check-in. The desks are inside these pods, complete with seating and little first class tags.
We start by 1:15 minutes. Thank you so much, sir.
Perfect, thank you.
Just proceed from here.
From there, you have access to the private security and immigration lanes, curb to airside in just over 8 minutes. This is where my trip went downhill a little bit. I managed to be travelling while Qatar were renovating the Al Safwa First Class Lounge and was relegated to the Al Mujan Business Class Lounge. While this is generally a nice place to be, the mixture of the closed first class lounge and the peak travel time that I was in meant that it was a pretty chaotic place. The shower suites had up to a 2-hour wait and the restaurant was about the same. The lounge is large and open, but coupled with the bright lights and the marble tiles, which make everything twice as loud, it ends up feeling a little bit like a shopping centre. A far cry from the Etihad lounge I was in just a few hours earlier. I put my name on the list for both the showers and the restaurant and then made my way to the sleeping pods to get some work done and maybe have a nap. A staff member came and woke me up to let me know that my shower was ready, which was a welcome surprise, so I packed up and headed off. My restaurant booking had also opened up, so I then made my way up the spiral staircase. Having eaten well on my flight prior, and knowing that I had some incredible food coming on this flight, I didn't want to spoil my appetite. But after a long time in the UAE with no pasta, I couldn't say no to this off the a la carte menu. After dinner, I had a quick look around the lounge at what else was on offer before heading to my gate about half an hour prior to boarding. Amazingly, I stumbled upon this McLaren F1 simulator in the airport and couldn't resist a pre-flight drive. One of my favourite things about the first class lounge was the Formula 1 simulator, so this filled the void that the closure of that lounge had left. After a few laps, I made my way towards the gate and our A380 for our 11-hour flight back to Australia. Hi, how are you?
Just joined us. Welcome on board Qatar Airways.
Yeah, understandable. Yeah, thank you.
After you have found your seat, please place your hand luggage in the overhead storage compartment.
Thank you very much.
Under the seat in front of you.
Welcome on board Qatar's A380 First Class. Set in a 1-2-1 configuration with a total of 8 seats, but amazingly today, only myself and one other passenger. If you're flying as a couple, the middle seats might seem inviting to sit next to each other, but for maximum privacy, I'd actually say a window and an aisle in row 2 are better. That way, if you put the centre partition up, you end up with a really large double room with only a walkway in the middle that only the crew are going to be walking through. Waiting in my seat were 2 pillows and a small blanket. Within seconds of sitting down, I had 4 crew members come and introduce themselves, seemingly sharing the same excitement for the flight as I had. Shortly after, the pre-departure service started with a drink of choice. I went with champagne, as well as some olives, cheese, and a packaged cold towel. Before I'd even had time to sip the champagne, Arabic coffee and dates appeared, which I will always say yes to. Then came the menus for today's flight, the pyjamas, and our amenities kit. Here is a look at the menu for today's flight. The amenities kits are well stocked, containing socks, an eye mask, body lotion, face cream, lip balm, and a small bottle of perfume provided by Diptyque. These are unfortunately the same as those given out in business class on Qatar, as are the pyjamas. And now for a quick look around this enormous suite. On your left, next to the permanent tray table, is the literature pocket, reading light controls, seat upright button, and the window shade controller, which was rather tedious to use and the button was quite jammed. In the left armrest is a bottle of water and the in-flight entertainment controller. Your noise-cancelling headphones are in the right armrest, as well as the touch controller for the seat and the lighting, as well as the analog seat buttons. Above that is another literature pocket where I kept the menus and the control button for the privacy shade. In front of you is your ottoman, which has a seat belt so it can be used to dine with a fellow traveller at your seat, using the absolutely enormous tray table. Above that is a lamp, universal power outlet, and your in-flight entertainment screen, which is not a touch screen, which is probably fair given that it would be at least a metre away from you and nearly impossible to touch. The lack of overhead storage bins makes the cabin feel even more spacious, with a large cupboard at the front of the cabin for baggage, as well as your own closet, and a space below your ottoman for your shoes and small items. Our meal orders were then taken. Qatar offers the dine on demand concept, so I chose to have a small meal after takeoff before bed, then breakfast a few hours before landing. I went with the braised beef soup pho and a glass of the 2016 Malbec. The seat is definitely showing its age, with many of the buttons having lost their charm and needing some persuasion, the touchscreen controls being unresponsive, and the in-flight entertainment handset being almost useless. The seat itself though is fantastic, definitely wider than the Emirates seat, and being fabric rather than leather makes it feel a lot softer. Unrealistically wide around the shoulders while sitting tells me it's going to be heavenly to sleep on. Almost instantly after the seatbelt sign was turned off, I was served my glass of Malbec along with some warm nuts. I was also given a Wi-Fi card which would provide 200 megs of data. It was annoyingly hard to set up, timing out before I could connect, so I just gave up on it altogether. The provided noise-cancelling headphones are average at best, not comparable to the Bang & Olufsen that Emirates offers. Before long, what I think is the largest tray table possible in the sky was set for my late night snack, along with a small candle, sparkling water, a bread basket and some sides. The beef was juicy and tender, the broth was flavourful, and the meal was well presented, but it's nearly impossible to eat pho with a knife and fork on a turbulent plane without having it look like a crime scene afterwards. Giggling about how much mess I'd made, the table setting was replaced without my request before the dessert was served. This lovely almond brownie served with peaches, berries and strawberry sorbet. Wonderfully light and fresh to round out the service. I then made my way down to the A380 Onboard Bar, which is located behind the business class section on the top deck, just before a small economy cabin. I settled in for my usual old-fashioned nightcap, which was made with Woodford Reserve, and chatted with the bartender for a while. Making my way back to the pointy end, I grabbed my pyjamas and headed to the bathroom to get changed for bed. The Qatar A380s don't have full shower suites like the Emirates ones do. Click this card to see what that's like. But the bathrooms are still enormous and well stocked with any extra amenities you could need while on board. With only 2 of us in first class today, 1 bathroom each is a pretty good ratio. Returning to my seat, the bed had been made up beautifully by the crew, and I really had nothing to do other than curl up in bed with a pot of lemon and ginger tea and get ready for hopefully around 7 hours sleep. The bed is completely unrestricted around the feet and shoulders, making this probably one of the best beds in the sky. It does unfortunately have a bit of a hump in the middle from the mechanism, and the onboard temperature was roasting hot, but I was still able to doze off, ending up with about 6.5 hours undisturbed sleep. With a few hours before our arrival into Perth, and still rather full from dinner, I went with a light breakfast of fresh fruits, warm pastries, and Greek yogurt muesli. Presented amazingly again with the little candle accompanied by one of their signature mocktails, the pineapple margarita. After brekkie, I headed back to the bathroom to change out of my PJs, and while I was gone, the crew changed my seat back to normal and dropped off a small box of chocolates and a packaged cold towel, which was a pretty perfect way to finish up the flight. This flight was incredible, and something I had been wanting to do for quite a long time. Qatar's previous CEO was very vocal about not liking the A380s and that they were only using them out of necessity, and if they received the aircraft they had on order, they would retire these giants of the sky the next day. So I was unbelievably excited when I realised I could take this flight. The suite itself is very different from other first class products. It doesn't have enclosing doors or privacy screens, opting for the open plan layout, but it doesn't feel exposed. It doesn't have the gold trimmings of Emirates, and it shares a lot of food, drink and service items with their business class product, but it still does feel truly first class. But yet the genuine care from the crew or the enormous soft seat, the memories of this incredible flight will be with me forever, long after the A380 is gone. If you get the chance, this is certainly worth doing. From Australia, Qatar fly their A380 out of both Sydney and Perth. Out of Doha, there are quite a few other options. This flight, paid in cash, retails for a whopping 14,000 Australian dollars, but I managed to book this with only 114,000 velocity points and 535 Australian dollars in taxes, making this trip an absolutely incredible 12 cents per point in value. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed this flight. Until next time, see you at the pointy end.